All right, guys, welcome to Hardt Academy for Pi Day, March 14th, 2016. Okay, so I really wasn't going to record tonight, but then I thought, oh my gosh, how many emails would I possibly get in this Hardt? I can't meet up with my homework. So I decided to go ahead and post anyway, so nobody bother me tonight, okay? So here's the deal. This is the same page we worked on in class, and I'm going to review some of the same questions we did in class and a few that we didn't. You only have 14 problems for homework tonight. And if you did what I needed you to do in class, you really probably have less than 8 because we did some of these homework problems together. So, but just in case you did, write down everything that you possibly need. I will do these problems again. And if you can understand the problems I'm going to do as an example, you should be okay with the rest of the sheet. So let's go ahead and I'm going to start back at number 1. And the reason why I'm going to start at number 1 is because this is not a typical fraction problem for an inequality. Why? Because these are the fractions that I like to say have junk in the trunk. You see the junk that's right here? It looks different than a regular fraction problem like we see in number 4. So, what we're going to do with fractions that have junk in the trunk is we're going to get rid of the denominator first, right? So with fractions that have this junk in the trunk, what you need to do is the operation of multiplying, the inverse operation of multiplying, because it's still a fraction. And remember, fractions mean divide. So we'll do the opposite of what we see. So I'm going to multiply by 52 on both sides. And remember, long story short, when you multiply this fraction with the 52, it's going to end up canceling out, leaving you 1. And remember, 1s are invisible. So after you do this, you drop your junk in the trunk down. So I have 24 plus p is less than, we have your 2 times the 52, 104. Okay. So now what we do is, wait, can't see that one. Let me make that one a little bit clearer for you. Perfect. That's even better than the handwriting I do in class. You guys should be feeling pretty blessed right about now. Okay, so now, remember, we still need to go ahead and get p by itself. So the next thing that we have to move is going to be the 24. Notice it's a positive 24, so we're going to subtract 24 from both sides. Here and here. That will cancel out, leaving us with the variable of p. My inequality sign, and then we have the 104 minus the 24. That's going to give us a positive 80. So for this one, we have p is less than 80. I'm going to place that up here so I have some room to graph. And I will erase for space. And remember, if you do not have enough room on this worksheet, you need to be using scrap paper. Please do not lay your work over top of other problems. Okay. All right, here we go. So now we have p is less than 80, so we're going to graph. Remember, with your number line, please don't do a number line of 1 through 80. That's ridiculous. You only need 3 numbers. First, start with your answer, 80. Put that in the middle. What goes beside 80? 81, because these are positive numbers. What goes in front of 80? 79. Those are the only 3 numbers you need in order to have a graphed number line. We are then going to circle our 80, open circle. Take a look at the numbers that are beside it, at 79 and 81. Plug those in underneath your variable. Why? Because it makes it easier to read and determine which direction your arrow should be going, left or right. So I'm going to read the first sentence. So instead of p, remember, replace that with 79. 79 is less than 80. Is that true? Last time I checked, yes. Check the other one just to be sure. 81 is less than 80. Not true. So the one with 79 is correct. That means your arrow should be going to the left of the 80 on your number line. So final answer, this is what I'm looking for, a little bit of a graph, and then your final answer of p is less than 80. If this was your remote, in your remote you would have put 80, less than, arrows going to the left. Would look like that in your remote. So be sure you have that for the next time we practice with the remote. Let's take a look at, I'm not going to do number 2 because number 2 is exactly the same as number 1, which is a fraction of positive numbers of junk in a trunk. But I will do number 3. Why? Because I tend to find myself repeating the same thing every day. Not only do I say, hey, look at those integer rules, which I've been stating to you since October 22nd, 2015, the first day that we all met. Every day, integer rules. But also because of that special rule of what to do when we multiply and divide by a negative. Look at this. Remember, junk in a trunk, we're going to get rid of this negative 15 first. I can hear some of you already. Oh, Mrs. Hardt, I know what to do. I'm going to reverse my inequality sign, and that is correct. Why are we reversing the inequality sign? Anytime we multiply or divide by a negative, you must reverse your inequality sign. Now, the problem with this is sometimes you guys don't realize when you are multiplying or dividing by a negative, and that's because of the word of by. by. Multiply by. That means the one that you're moving. So the one that you're moving, such as this 15, if that's negative, you will flip your inequality sign. It does not matter what's already on this side of your inequality or what's on this side of your inequality. It's whatever you are moving. Whatever you are moving, if that's negative, flip that sign. So now we have 15 times 6. Negative 15 times 6. That's going to give us a negative 90. Remember to flip that inequality sign. And bring down your junk in the trunk. I got that junk in the trunk. Break it down. Okay, there you go. So now our next step, remember, you're still trying to get that variable by itself. So you need to get rid of the 22. This is a minus 22, so do the opposite of what you see, which would be adding 22 to both sides. That's going to give me a negative 68. When we have a positive plus a negative, we're going to subtract, keep the sign of the higher digit. So I have negative 68 is greater than x. Let me put that up here so I have space to do the number line. Negative 68 is greater than x. I only need one x. So with our number line, negative 68 in the middle, remember, when we're in negatives, your number line also has to be in a negative. So beside the negative 68 towards the right, you should have negative 67, not negative 69. Negative 69 will go on the left side. Because remember, we are in the negatives. I'm going to circle my 68, and then I have a 69, remember, and a 67 beside it. A negative 69. And a negative 67. Place those underneath your variable. Now we're going to read these sentences and figure out which one makes sense. Remember, when we are in negative land, the smaller the number is, it's actually bigger. So negative 68 is bigger than negative 69. Is that true? Yes. Negative 68 is bigger than negative 67. Not true. So negative 69 one is true, and that one, my friends, is going towards the left. So in your remote, you would have put negative 68, G for greater than, arrows going towards the left. That's the combination you would have put in your remotes. So remember, that was one in which we had to flip the sign. I'm going to now do number 5, and this is the number 5. We did this in class with a few students, and they, you guys were freaking out because of a large number in which you had to divide, and I wouldn't let you use a calculator. Don't worry, you're going to be all right. So, what do we do first in this one? Get rid of the 5. That means minus 5 on both sides. Please follow your integer rules. You have a negative and a negative. So what you could do is just bring down that negative sign, add these two together. Two negatives, add them together. So 1475 becomes 1480. Bring down my negative 40x. Now I need to get rid of that negative 40x. By dividing by negative 40. Oh my God, what was that rule again? When you multiply or divide by a negative, you must reverse your inequality sign. Remember, we are dividing by a negative 40. So our inequality sign will reverse to this. So now you need to figure out how many times negative 40 will go into 1480. If you did your division correct, which I showed some of you guys in class, long division, you should get 37 last time I checked. And it's going to be a positive 37 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So my answer here is going to be a positive 37 is greater than x. Let's go ahead and do a number line. I have 37 here. These are positives, so this side is going to be 38, and this side will be 36, 37, 38. Okay, circle my 37. I have a 36 or 38. A 36 or a 38. Let's read. 37 is greater than 36. That is true. 37 is greater than 38. Not true. So my answer will be going towards the left. In your remote, you would have put 37. Okay? Greater than 2 L's for the left. Now, before I move on from this problem, how did I get 37 for this without using a calculator? So here, my friends, is a quick review of doing long division, because you have another problem on this page that I'm not going to do with you that requires you to do long division. And I believe it's problem number 12. See that? You're going to end up doing long division. And I really, really, really would like for you to practice this without the calculator. So let me go back and practice that. I had 1480 divided by 40. This is not on the multiplication chart that I've given you. Okay? So this is what we need to do. Take it one number at a time. 40 will go into 1. Is that going to work? No. 40 can't fit into 1. Put a 0. 40 will go into 14. Will 40 fit into 14? No. Put a 0. 40 will go into 148. How many times will 40 go into 148? You don't know, do you? Neither do I. So I like to guess. And I'm going to guess with my magic number. My magic number tends to be 5, because multiplying by 5s are easy for me. Okay, so I think 40 will go into 148 5 times. Let's find out if that's true by doing the opposite of dividing, which is multiplying. 0 times 5 is 0. 5 times 4 is 120, or excuse me, yeah, 120. Excuse me, that's 20, so it's 200 even. So I have 200, and I was only looking for 148. So is my magic number too big? It is, so I'm going to take it down. Perhaps I need to do 40 times 4. That's 0. This is 16. That's 160. I'm still trying to reach just 148. It's still too big. So now I know I need to go just a little bit smaller than that. So let me take it down by one more number, 3. 0, 4 times 3 is 12. That's 120. Now I know this is gonna have to work because 160 is too big and 120, it'll fit in, okay? So 40 will go into 148 3 times. That 3 goes above your 8. You must have place value. 40 times 3, remember, you need to multiply. 40 times 3, or 3 times 40, you already figured it out. That's 120. This is the part where we subtract. 8 minus 0 is 8. 4 minus 2 is 2. And that's 0. But I do need to bring down this 0. So now looking at 40 will go into 280. I know it will go into 200 5 times. So I know my answer is going to be bigger than 5. So you might want to try 6 next. 0 times 6 is 0. 4 times 6 is 24. That's 240. Perhaps you think it will go in one more time. Try that over here at 7. $280. $280. Oh my gosh, it's perfect, isn't it? 7 times 40, $280. I'm at 0, finally. This is how I got 37 for my answer. Wanted to be sure you knew that. Next one you have to do on your own. I'm stopping this video right here, and that's all I'm going to do for today, my friends. I will see you tomorrow.